Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We're still working on Henry VI Part 3, and today we get to hear from Richard, who is now the Duke of Gloucester, in Act 4, Scene 5. But yesterday we were just finishing off Act 4, Scene 2, so a little bit of catch-up and a little bit of recap. In Act 4, Scene 2, we had Clarence and Somerset joining Warwick because they don't like King Edward's choice of wife, and they don't think that they have any future there, and they're not going to get good wives if they're there, that sort of thing. Richard has stayed on King Edward's side. So now Warwick and Clarence and Somerset are on Queen Margaret and King Henry's side, and Edward is losing allies sort of left and right. So in Act 4, Scene 3, let's see what happens in Act 4, Scene 3. We're outside King Edward's tent because he's decided that he's going to sleep in a tent and not in an actual bed until he's been able to defeat Warwick. And he just has 2 guards there, which Warwick was aware of. Remember, Warwick wanted to go capture him, not kill him, but capture him, which they do very easily because he's only got 2 guards, and they bring him outside in his nightgown and his crown, and they take the crown off of his head and said, "You're no longer the king, you're back to being the Duke of York." And Edward's like, yeah, right, that's gonna stick. So they take him into captivity. Then Act 4, Scene 4, we get to visit with Queen Elizabeth, who is King Edward's wife, formerly Lady Grey. She's chatting with her brother Rivers and talking about how her husband has been dethroned, and she's scared for her safety, especially now that she's carrying King Edward's baby, who she believes to be the next rightful heir to the throne. Keep in mind also that King Edward's son would be next in line to the throne if King Edward stays on the throne, which means Richard is now bumped one spot farther away from becoming king, and Richard, Duke of Gloucester, really, really, really wants to be king. So that's a thing. Anyway, so now here we are in Act 4, Scene 5, where they're trying to release King Edward as he is in captivity, and Richard kicks off the scene. He's with Lord Hastings and Sir William Stanley, who are just about the only other guys left that are on King Edward's side. He's with them, and he kicks off the scene by saying, "Now, my Lord Hastings and Sir William Stanley, leave off to wonder why I drew you hither into this chiefest thicket of the park. Thus stand the case. You know our king, my brother, is prisoner to the bishop here, at whose hands he hath good usage and great liberty, and often, but attended with weak guard, come hunting this way to disport himself. I have advertised him by secret means, that if about this hour he make this way, under the colour of his usual game, he shall here find his friends with horse and men to set him free from his captivity." So it's a monologue of Richard's plot. King Edward, being held captive, still gets to go hunting on a regular basis, and Richard has gotten word to him that if he pretends that he goes out hunting and happens to be right exactly here, they'll have a horse and they'll, fend off his guard and they will free him. As it turns out, Edward has 1 guard with him, 1 huntsman, so he's easily overthrown, and they're like, "Edward, right this way to your horse and to freedom." And they turn to the huntsman and they're like, "So are you coming with us?" And he's like, "Well, I guess it's better to go with you than go back and be hanged for losing you, so yeah, I'll go with you." And they ride off. So now King Edward is free of captivity. And tomorrow we'll find out what's going on with King Henry, because it's been a little while since we saw him. I'll see you then for that. Mwah.